The following audio may contain the personal testimonials of some Optavia coaches or clients of Optavia. The results relayed in these messages are based on the unique experiences of the participants, and we cannot guarantee like or similar outcomes. While you may be inspired by these accounts, please note that any stories of success have not been verified and your individual path to optimal health will vary. As always, it is our recommendation that you consult with a healthcare provider before starting a weight loss program. Yours in health, the Optavia team.
Welcome, everybody. And I will say it's kind of strange for me to say good evening because here, as you can see with the light, it is morning. We're going to let people file in. Very, very excited to be here with all of you across the ocean. I've taken this flight many times, and you're very, very far away, but today we're gonna all be together on the same plane. So I want to welcome everybody. My name is Dr. J.C. Doornick, and what an honor and a privilege it is to be here. I'm a certified health coach with Optavia, and this program has legitimately changed my lives. And before we get started, and I introduce this amazing speaker, and share my story, just throw into the chat box. You can, with this technology, Zoom, you can go in the chat box and let everybody know where you're from. Because, you know, this is a pretty interesting moment right now because we are getting the world healthy. So hello from Singapore, hello from Florida, all of the US coaches and our brothers and sisters in Asia are chiming in. What an amazing opportunity. So I want to welcome everybody. This is going to be an amazing opportunity for you to, for the first time, meet my mentor and a visionary person. But let me just give you a little background about who I am and how this program has impacted my life and transformed my life. So what you're seeing right now is me, Dr. JC, a health professional in May of 2007. And if you could pop up those next couple of pictures, and I'll explain my transformation. But in May of 2007, I was helping people as a health professional, and the challenge is that you see on my lap right there is that kid with the shovel is my son Jackson, and the other kid is crying because I actually picked him up out of the sand to cover my left side of my fat belly, and that's why he's crying, and that's a true story. So I'm surprised I didn't get in trouble that day. But when I found this program, at the time, my first initial, want and desire was to lose weight. And as you can see in those pictures, if we can go back just quickly to that last slide, I did lose weight on the program, and that's how I got started. But it wasn't until I fully engaged in what I learned, the program and this transformational process, that I actually found optimal health. Now, that's my really, really fit picture, but that's not my real after picture. And I'm going to show you what a real transformation is, because the weight loss component of this program, it woke me up. And if you go to the next slide, this next slide really, really hits home, because that picture that you see on the left, it's not only me with extra kgs and carrying that burden, it's somebody that is really asking for help. And this program got me started. And this picture on the right of the cool cat that I have become is really somebody that awoken to the fact that my problem was never that I was overweight and unhealthy. My problem was why I was overweight and unhealthy. And this program and the man you're about to speak to gave me a lot more than just my physical health. It gave me the ability to awaken. And this is what you're going to hear about. This is a very, very powerful transformational program. It woke me up to the fact that there was a lot of things going on in my life, in my lifestyle, and these bad habits I was practicing, and these things that I wanted to change were just symptoms of it. So these pictures right here show you a physical transformation. But if we go to the next slide, this is my after picture, because this program taught me, and the mentorship of the man you're about to hear from, before I even knew that I could pay it forward and help other people and save people's lives and help them awaken, I never knew that because I was working 70, 80 hours a week as a doctor, which I loved and I made great money, but I had no life and I never saw my children. All I ever wanted to do was be a good father. That's why I was working so hard. Never saw my children. Used to tell them, hey, daddy loves you. And I'd go to work for 70, 80 hours a week. And unfortunately, that also caused disruption and I had a failed marriage. Of course I was eating. I was self-medicating myself with food. So the problem wasn't the food. The problem was my lifestyle. So I share that with you because this program put me on a course and a trajectory with the support of the man that you're about to hear from to take care of what I needed to take care of in the beginning, but then it completely opened my mind up and set me free. And that after picture is me, 80 pounds less than I was when I started, but as the head coach of my football, my son Jackson's football team, fully present with my son and free. So naturally, I made a decision, like a lot of you are, to let everybody in the world know this. I always say in a world full of thirsty people, when you find a source of water, we share it. So if we go to this next slide, it's a very humbling moment for me to introduce this man. Might even get a little choked up here, but this is Dr. Wayne Scott Andersen, and as you can see, he's the New York Times best-selling author, Habits of Health, Living a Longer, Healthier Lifestyle, wrote a book called Identity as well that just completely shifted and changed my mind. That was the education component of it. He's a world leader in lifestyle medicine. Here's what that means. If you really think about it, and I'm speaking to all of you, but also health professionals, things are changing and we have to change. We have to change as servants and health professionals. So this man is a world leader in lifestyle medicine because he's changing the course and the fabric of it. He's a pioneer in critical care medicine. He's actually one of the first board certified critical care physicians here in America. So he knows what is happening at the end of the road and he's helping people. He's swimming upstream now. But what I'll say is he's the real deal. He's the real deal because when you get to know Dr. A, and you hear his story, which you're about to hear, and you find out that he's impacted about 1 million lives here in America, which is why we're starting to move over there. He's a co-founder of Optavia. And he used to say this to me a long time ago when I just wanted to lose weight. He would say things like, JC, we're going to get the world healthy. And I never knew what that meant. I have to admit in the beginning, I thought he was a little bit crazy. How could you get the world healthy? But as I've progressively come alive and awakened and transformed my health, and then embraced this idea that we have completely begun to impact what's going on here in America. And now here we are. For the first time, you guys are all going to be the first people to hear Dr. A speak over in Asia. Dr. A, for the first time right now, I really, it's not about believing you, it's happening. So it's my honor and privilege to invite for all of you to hear my mentor, and this amazing visionary, Dr. Wayne Scott Andersen.
Great. Well, JC, thank you for that introduction. Can you see me? Cool. Well, welcome everybody, especially our fellow humans over in Asia. Very excited. As JC said, 13 hours difference, and I'm watching an incredible sunrise over the Atlantic Ocean and thinking about our partnership across the Pacific Ocean. And as we launch this new idea to us, which is helping the world get healthy. We've been kind of selfish for the last 17 years getting it right. And unfortunately, as a result of food technology, we've kind of exported obesity. It's really globesity. And that's really due to our food industry and obviously the hurried life that most of us live. And certainly in Asia, and specifically Singapore and Hong Kong, you guys really work hard. And that's what it's in your DNA. It's how your culture works. But it's taking a toll. And, the statistics as being a physician, and as JC said, I was originally a critical care physician. I actually was an open heart anesthesiologist as well and trained at Cleveland Clinic in that particular specialty, and then went on to the University of Miami in Jackson Memorial and trained in critical care. And, for 20 years, that was my specialty. I was the chair of my department, director of critical care, and I thought I was doing good. But what I realized over time, I was simply putting Band-Aids on people. It was like they were floating down the river and I was pulling them out of the river one by one and resuscitating them, but never really going upstream, going up the river and finding the bridge that had the hole in it that they were falling through. And so for the last 18 years, I've been on that mission. I left what I was doing, fully just decided to change, and went after seeking, how do we help people create health in their life? So basically, in essence, that's what I'm going to be talking about today, and JC is going to come along with me. But the reality is Optavia has become a mission, and a mission to help change the world. And as you can see, lifelong transformation, one healthy habit at a time. And I'd like to just spend a moment and look as we design the moniker, you know, and you look at it's really taken after the Nautilus, the incredible sea creature that has the multiple chambers that can go down thousands of feet because it's so powerful. And why it's so powerful is because it's built on a solid foundation. As you can see, those 24 radians are the 24 hours in the day, which represents the ways we can help people change their habits, one healthy habit at a time, from the time we get up to the time we go to sleep, including the time we're asleep, which I know in Asia is a very rare commodity. I know that actually culturally that naps are okay because you've got to get some rest, but we're going to talk in the future as we develop this with you guys. We're going to talk about how to create the proper amount of energy and the proper amount of rest and how to do that in a fashion where you replenish your body, because basically, sleep is not a luxury. It's a critical part of our immunological surveillance system. It's an important part to prevent us from becoming sick. And that's what Optavia is. We're looking at those 24 hours in the day, and we're asking, how do we help people now develop the habits that protect them? Not like I did before, wait till people are sick. The doctor of the future will use no medicines, as Edison said many years ago, about the same time he invented the light bulb. And that is so powerful. The second thing is you look at the knowledge, you can see that the radians become thicker and fuller, and that represents our growth. It's our understanding that we can control the stress that occurs in everyday life. We want to help that. And JC hit it right on the head in that basically weight gain is basically a result of stress. It's the mind being at disease, not at ease. And so one of the things we're going to be talking about today is that. So with that, the business of Optavia, as you can see, includes people of all walks in life. You know, I look at these people. In fact, on the left side there, the lady that's in the blue with husband burgundy, they're actually coming here to meet me this weekend. Basically, I just came from very close to Vail, where that picture's taken at the bottom. I look at all these people, many of them now friends and physicians and healthcare professionals, as well as entrepreneurs that have decided that, you know what? I'm tired of doing what I'm doing and I want to do more, either on a part-time basis by getting myself healthy, or I want to actually look for something that can bring more meaning in my life. So basically our story, our credibility, you know, this is our new headquarters, the big building on the left, as you can see below in Forbes, which is a very prestigious magazine here in the States, and perhaps you're familiar with it. Basically, we're considered one of the most trustworthy companies. And I was actually at the headquarters last Friday for an executive meeting celebrating that the company now has gone over $500 million in revenue, all based on Optavia, or a majority of it based on Optavia. And we are getting ready to move forward, become a multiple billion-dollar company and a multinational company. You can see that's our headquarters. Actually, if you can look, you can see the beautiful balcony up there. That's our 17th and 18th floor of our new world headquarters. And we're excited. We're based on science, started in 1980 as Medifast by Dr. Vitale, who basically was a Johns Hopkins, which I'm sure you're familiar with, physician. It brought the proper research and direction, and you know, kind of JC and several others call me the captain. And the captain, what we're doing is we're moving forward. And our mission is to focus on the vision, which is to change the world. And JC's right. That's a pretty audacious goal. But what we're excited about is to partner with you guys over in Asia, because you're the largest market in the world. And we know that what's happening is the acceleration of the symptoms of living at disease is affecting you guys in an ever accelerating fashion. We want to be there in the beginning. I noticed that in the literature, in the medical literature, that there's a lot of talk in Asia about dieting. Dieting doesn't work. 17 years ago, I decreed 85% of people that go on a diet gain their weight back. So what we're talking about today is a lifestyle program change. It's an opportunity in little micro habits to change all that. So basically, what is our offer? Our offer is, for most people, starts with their physical health. It certainly begins there. But really, we look at all three areas, the three areas that create well-being that are so critical for us: physical, mental, and financial health. They're all three important. And, the well-being book by the Gallup poll, which is one of the largest polls in the world, talks about that what we do on a daily basis is 2 times more important from our well-being than anything else. So, yes, you may be helping people, and we're here to help everyone that raises their hand. By the way, we can't help people get healthy and build optimal health and well-being unless they raise their hand. So one of our jobs is to awaken them to that potential. So let's just talk about that for a moment. Healthy body, healthy weight, slimming, as you guys like to call it, is critical. Healthy eating and hydration, healthy motion, healthy sleep and energy, healthy stress reduction, and healthy surroundings. We addressed the 6 macro habits, which are necessary, which are part of the Habits of Health system. And the idea is about creating long-term health, sustainable health. There's lots of ways to lose weight and slim, but the reality is without actually changing our habits, we don't create long-term transformation. So that's not our focus. We help people reach a healthy weight, but that's not the end point. We're basically about creating health through lifestyle transformation, one healthy habit at a time. So slimming is simply a mode of delivering you on the beginning path. So we have a comprehensive approach. As you reach a healthy weight, basically with the support of a coach and the community we surround you in, we also teach you the habits of health. And so this is just a couple examples. I want to show you, this is a gentleman, he's now about 78 or almost 80 on the left. And then the lady on the right basically wasn't a nurse, and now she's a full-time health coach. But I just wanted to show you that's transformation. That's what JC was talking about. That's the physical transformation. But I can tell you, this gentleman's almost 80, and he is healthier now than he was even in these pictures. And the reality is he lives a vibrant life, has a home in Florida and one up north in the Northeast, and goes around, loves to travel, and has a ball. Has a very big organization of people that are part of his team now that are helping us change the world. And then Shirley on the right, basically now she's at a healthy weight. The other parts, just like going along with what JC said earlier, she now doesn't work anymore. Brought her husband home. They have a vibrant life. They have missions they do in Africa, go over there, and they are building a huge organization as well. And this is kind of the dichotomy of doctors. We say heal thyself. This is Dr. Joe Picarero. He's a cardiovascular surgeon. This is taken before, and this is how he looks now. Basically now, I believe it's now almost 10 years he's been with us, and he is now doing missions. He stopped clinical practice. By the way, I don't know how I kid around with him. I don't know how he could operate, man. How could he get close enough to the table? And we have a lot of fun about that. In fact, I'm going over next Friday to his house, not to his house, but to where he lives. And we're he has a charity that he does, Hearts of Fire. We're going over to celebrate. He's helping people all over the world change their life. And that's kind of that's kind of who we're looking for, basically, to become coaches with us. People that care about people. I mean, that's really, really important, as you can tell from the way JC was talking. So JC, anything you want to comment on before I go on?
Yeah, I mean, it's just so interesting. I've got a lot of experience now, and I have a very big passion for, as you do, for helping our brothers and sisters over there. And when you put up that slide about the healthy body, healthy mind, and healthy finances concept, the trilogy of optimal health, it translates everywhere in the world. This philosophy, transformation might look different to somebody that needs to lose some kgs, or actually might needs to gain, or just improve different components of their health. But what I know is that everybody in this world is alike in the sense that we all want to be healthier, happier, and wealthier. I haven't met anybody that said I'm healthy enough, So I love the idea that we have this ability to speak to anyone in the world and basically, like you said, in the evolution, meet them where they're at and say, what's your thing? So I want to invite everybody, as Dr. Ray keeps going, especially all of our brothers and sisters over in Singapore and Hong Kong, put in the chat box, what is it that everybody wants to be healthier, happier, and wealthier, but what is the thing that you need to change the most in your life? See, I thought it was a physical change, but I just needed free time. I wanted to be with my family. And, we all have our own way of starting, and we'll meet you there. Go ahead, Dr. Ray.
Yeah, no, I love that, JC. It's interesting because that's so important to me. My home here on the beach in Florida, I'm looking out at the ocean and how immense it is. But the thing that really matters is my daughter's coming over to see me this weekend, right? It's that they go to school here. So I have the flexibility to have a home here as well as up by the headquarters in Annapolis, and have the freedom to be able to take them. We're going to be going to Europe in May. And those things are so critical because, you know, to have the resources and have the time to be able to flexibility to organize our lives around what matters most is so critical. And as you can see here, yeah, there's a health epidemic and it's worldwide. And you guys are just on the tip as it starts, kind of the iceberg. We unfortunately, it's one of the leading causes of both morbidity and mortality in the United States. And as you can see, obesity in Asia is, you know, no one needs to tell. You have to be under a rock to know that it is. We're on the beginning part of it, but it's accelerating. And it's actually taken less than 15 years, unfortunately, because of our food technology that we've exported, to put you guys in position, which took us almost 50 years to happen. So, you know, we want to help. We've got an elegant solution, and we're here for you. And the important part is because it's not just that you don't look as well in your clothes, but it's because there's a progression of obesity. And it starts with being overweight and gaining that weight. You develop insulin resistance. In the United States, 80 million Americans have insulin resistance, or what we call metabolic syndrome, which leads to diabetes and cardiovascular disease. And the absolute burden, not just on the medical community, but on the national economy is tremendous. And it's something that can be fully arrested. You know, it's not about taking our alimentary canal, you know, our GI system, and changing it with banding or any of the other contrived mechanisms. It's actually helping people change in their mind, because obesity is not a disease of overeating. It's a disease of being at disease, emotionally dysfunctional, from stress, from overwork, from not enough sleep, from eating the wrong things, and sedentary lifestyle. So basically, we've created. It's taken us a while to really get to this point, but we have 4 major components that we use to help people kind of change the trajectory. The first is your Optavia coach. This is someone that most likely been in the same situation you have, and has made a decision to help coach others, either on a part or a full-time basis. And what they coach them to is using the Habits of Health system, which I'll review in a moment here, and putting them in our community. Our community, you know, as you know, with social media and the digital world we live in, we can connect digitally. The ions come together, but we can see each other just like we are today. It's amazing. We're on the other side of the world, and we can communicate with you guys. And that's pretty powerful. You know, my idea is that what's happened with technology, it's disconnected people. The electronic leash is disconnected people from the humanity, the senses of getting the sleep, having the rest, having time to interact with each other. And all those things that are the human qualities that build well-being are now being dismissed as the ions communicate, but we don't. So we're using this technology in a very positive way, connecting us, bringing us together, and bringing different countries. And our goal is to bring the world together. And that's an ambitious goal, but you know what? We're a lot farther now than we were 17 years ago when I started this. So bring you into the community, and then the feelings are these powerful feelings of Optavia that help people, put them on path to start slimming and put them in position to create the teachable moment. As you lose weight, you are feeling better, you have more energy, you can see the difference it makes, and we call that the teachable moment, where we can teach you with your coach to guide you the habits of health and put you in the community. So this is the Habits of Health. You're actually going to be the first ones, which is kind of cool. You're actually going to get it about just a little bit before the actual US system is released. So it's pretty cool. And I'm going to be over there this summer in July, and we're going to be going through these, but these are the book, the life book, and the app, which will be delivered. And so the idea is, if you look at this, it's that what we're doing is we're providing with the app every day the ability to basically move forward, have accountability, know when to eat, know when to hydrate. We'll do a little bit of stop, challenge, and choose, where we'll start teaching people how to stop rather than just react at a subconscious level, to stop, challenge why they're doing what they're doing and why they're feeling, and then make outcomes. So we're going to build that in, because you guys, you know, you guys know the digital world better than anywhere else in the world. And we want to make sure we tie in to give you what works conveniently for you. The life book, on the other hand, is actually writing. And I know you probably don't have many written things that you write in, because most things are digital, but this is important. The science shows that when we write and we actually document our journey over the year, once we start on the Optavia system, is that year what can change everything. So even though our past and our behavior and our way we think and the way we feel from the past limits us to be able to recover and actually create what we want, what JC and I were talking about. And so we're going to help you with that. So that will be daily. You'll write in, it'll have elements. that will take you through, that'll build a solid foundation on health and well-being. And then the Habits of Health book, the new book is, when I wrote the first one 10 years ago, over 1 million copies have been sold with no advertising. People just share it with each other and they found it to be helpful. Well, that book now has evolved to be much more up here because we know that how we think and how we feel determines our behaviors and what we do. So with that, what's really cool about that is that, it's welcome to the Habits of Health, preparing for your journey to optimal health and the path to longevity. It's inclusive. And if you can see, that's, excuse me, let me go back one. That is Becca Tinter. There's a couple other of our coaches. And the whole book is about transformational stories. There's not one photograph that's from Photoshop, or not Photoshop, but the basically literature out there of where you buy photos. They're all real coaches and real clients that have changed their life. So we're very excited about that. And then the life book, as you can see, is basically taking those rocks. And there's a metaphor from a story told long ago where a professor comes into a classroom and basically has a mason jar, and he looks at it and he puts the big rocks in, and he goes, "Can you fit anything else in here?" And the students look and say, "No, that's all. It's all filled." And then he takes out pebbles, and he takes the pebbles and puts the pebbles in, shakes it up, and then he asks the students again, "Is it full?" And they look and say, "Yeah, it's completely full." And he takes sand and he puts the sand in, shakes it up, and it fills in. And then the one last question is, "Can you put anything else in here?" And everyone goes, "No," and then he pours water in it. Well, that metaphor is that we know the 6 macro habits that surround us are the things that determine our health and well-being. By putting those in and helping learn that over the next year, we teach people how to do that. The pebbles are the actual habits themselves. The sand are the micro habits. We make sure we make it easy enough so that you can do it every day, because it takes, on average, from the School of London, it takes an average a little over 66 days on average to install a new habit. And remember, lifelong transformation happens one healthy habit at a time. And then obviously the hydration and the water, which sustains us, since about 75% of our body is water, brings us into position to be successful. And this is what it causes: predictable transformations, the highest level of offerings. Now, lifestyle change obviously requires you to change your behaviors, but we know that lifestyle change in general, there's thousands of articles say if we change our habits to be more healthy habits, we're going to improve our health. So it's pretty exciting. So with that healthy mind, I like to spend a lot of time, and JC and I were talking about this, because really that's where it comes in. We're suffering it dramatically in the United States, is emotional mismanagement. What that means is we are not handling our days well. Everything is changing so rapidly. The one thing for certain is change. And as change occurs, what's happening with us is we are not adapting well. And there's a book by Thomas Friedman called Thank You for Being Late, where he talks and shows the curve of human adaptability and the curve of technology innovation. And there's a widening gap where we're not coping well as human beings. And so our idea is to help people through stop, challenge, and choose, and the things we do to become successful. And then the third, as JC mentioned, healthy finances, having the resources, the time and the money to be able to do the things we want to do. So job satisfaction in Asia Pacific employees aren't happy at work. This was from CNBC last year. I don't have to tell you this, you guys are dealing with it, but we're here to help. So our diversified opportunities are clients, client support, entrepreneurs, healthcare professionals, and patients. We want to help all these different groups. And how big is that market? Because, what we believe is in doing good, that we should be bringing value to the marketplace, that we should be compensated for that. And the nice thing about Optavia, we are becoming a major factor. You may have heard of Weight Watchers. Basically, their trajectory is going this way because it's all about just weight loss and dieting. What we're about is creating long-term health. And so we plan on dominating this industry in the future. And we're excited and picked Asia because 1.4 billion people plus, and basically we want to head it off at the pass, as we say in the United States, and help you guys create health. It's a tremendous market. So our future international expansion, if you look at it, you've got the United States over here, and then we have you guys over here, and we are ready to just absolutely dominate together. So some of the advantages of coaching, just briefly, basically, beyond all the paying it forward and well-being and meaning, purpose and meaning it brings to life, basically opportunity to generate income, cash flow, and equity. And that's the cool thing about it. We have really two strategic businesses. One is client and patient focused for our physicians and our coaches that want to focus on helping clients and doctors and healthcare professionals that want to help patients. And then actually our expansion model where we're actually building health coaches. And JC is, you know, one of my top leaders and is very excited and going to be one of the dominant figures over in Asia because he wants to go do the work and he wants to be there. And that's the beauty to be able to expand as well as some of our other leaders that are coming over, and including myself. I can't wait to come over and be with you fine folks and help us really make a difference. And so the basically progressive areas to earn, Optavia coaching based on your personal client orders, the business coaching based on the revenues generated by the non-executive. I'm not going to spend any time today going over that. Certainly we will as we get closer to launch, but our non-executives, directors, and then our business leader income. This is where you can diversify and exponentially grow your income, you know, based on your work. So this is kind of the slide, basically of income versus time. We know that client coaching, you get to a point where just like any profession where you are taking care of people, you reach a point where you have time to take care of so many, and certainly this is very lucrative. You get more details from the person that is created interest with you and looking at this. But beyond that, what we're talking about is team coaching is the exponential growth that we all desire, especially early on as you guys get started. You know, 1.4 billion plus people and we haven't started yet. So, you know, the opportunity is blue ocean strategy, as we like to say. So in essence, there's two curves. We recommend that you do start by building a clientele of people that you're helping get healthy, which will become over time your business coaches. So you kind of go from a client to coach to business leader, which is kind of cool. So getting started is easy. We provide for you a personalized website. We give you for healthcare professionals it's a patient management system. There's minimal training. We provide the training, and the business coach support is provided by our mentors as we work together. So where do you go from here? Well, you know, that's actually my sailboat, and this was where we came around the bend where Christopher Columbus discovered the Americas. And I remember sitting at that anchor looking out and thinking, wow. And when I read the story, which I didn't know, is that he came all the way across the ocean and he actually put his Santa Maria up on a reef right by there, made it all that way. And so they spent quite a bit of time thinking. You know, we're done thinking about changing the world. We're going to change the world. And, you know, for you, it's an amazing opportunity. First, if you're kind of struggling in your own health, we're here to help you. We're here to help you help your well-being, to put you on track so that you can put your mind where you want for as long as you want, when you want, and basically focus on becoming the dominant figure in your own life, controlling the things that get in the way. And beyond that, looking at this business as potentially is a blue ocean strategy. You know, it really is where we can help people. So JC, I'm going to turn it back to you. And then, you know, obviously we have time. I'd be glad to answer any questions, but go ahead, JC.
I know that I'm sitting here as a host, and you know I've been doing this for almost 13 years, but I'm just really blown away, you know, by this reality that's just really hitting me right now, that we are going to get the world healthy, and you know, and right now over in Asia, you know, when we speak to people about this, everybody gets this, you know, everybody wants to move forward in their life. And I think everybody is kind of like fed up with what we have created, this idea of what normal means, you know, settling and kind of just being entangled in what we've been led to believe is okay. But all of us across the entire world, we all have this burning desire to make this little time that we've been gifted, which we really don't know how much time we have, this little time, and just really make it matter, you know? And this program, just in closing with that, takes anybody in their reality, in what they create, in what they determine is their normal reality, and it gives them a starting point to start moving forward, in effect, creating a new normal. And when you create a new normal, you give the first view for everybody you know, and that 1.4 billion, they start saying, hey, I didn't know that was possible. So how do you participate right now? What do you do? Because once you find out about something as exciting as this, is you say, what's my next step? So first I want to be very clear that Optavia will officially be open for, I guess I could say, for business, in the sense where people can become coaches and clients can go on program with coaches and things like that, and embrace this in somewhere around June of this year. But our company has just come up with an ingenious idea that has really never been done before, where you can begin to participate now. So the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to get back to the person, and I'll explain it in depth. You're going to get back to the person that invited you. That person's a very, very key component to this. You know, I remember the first time I met somebody that introduced me to this. That person saved my life, in effect. So you're going to get back to that person, and you're going to say, I want to know more. You know, I want to talk to you about, you know, what it is that I need most in my life right now, and what I've always dreamed about and I've kind of suppressed. You're going to get back to that person, and they're going to tell you about this International Coach Candidate Program. That's really an ingenious idea. And it kind of solves a couple of things. First of all, at a very, very low cost to you, in fact, a lot cheaper than what we're paying here, because we really want to give you the opportunity. We're so confident in this program and what it does for people. We want to give you the opportunity to experience it, but experience it the right way, referring back to the 4 components and that engagement. So we created this International Coach Candidate Program where you're going to get back, if you're from Singapore or Hong Kong and you're a permanent resident there, and you know you're interested in this, you can engage with that person and apply to become part of this International Coach Candidate Program. Here's what happens. Once you're accepted, and the person will explain how to do this, you'll click on a link and you'll fill out an application. Once you're accepted into that program, it's a trial program, but it's really going to give you a portal of entry into this transformational process. It's going to give you the ability to not only receive about 6 weeks of program and fuelings, but you'll also receive that coach. You'll get that coach experience. You'll, in effect, have the opportunity to engage in those 4 components. So you'll actually get to try this program and this process, and you'll also tell that coach what it is that you want to accomplish. I mean, God, we have people, you know, in America, obesity is a big crisis. In fact, we're trying to get rid of obesity here. In Asia, what we're finding out is that we're trying to prevent it, because we've exported it all over the world. So you'll start wherever it is that you want to start, and you'll see that our program can help anybody get started with their physical, and you'll experience that, which is important to fall in love with it. But you'll also be you'll engage with the community. You'll get the Habits of Health book. You'll have the coach. So you'll be in that 4 components. But the Coach Candidate Program does something else. Like as I told you, most of you are going to want to be, you're going to be interested not only in the business concept. In fact, if you look at all the chat about the transformations that are taking place over there and with our US coaches, very few people are talking about things like money and weight loss. They're talking about how their life is changing and how they're creating this new reality. So you're going to be in that process, and very, very quickly, everybody you know, and a lot of you have already invited people here, everybody you know, guess what? They want the same thing as well. They want to be happier, healthier, and wealthier, and they're going to experience somebody that they know going through this process. You're in turn going to be able to invite them to engage in this International Coach Candidate Program. And guess what? As you're going through this process and you're experiencing the program, you're also going to receive training, and those people are going to receive training the same. And then come potentially trajected June, when we get started, you in effect have already begun to build a powerful, impactful business that will be yours. So this is something that's never, ever been done. So your action step right now is to contact the person that invited you to this, whether they're here or not, and let them know what it is that you want to get out of this, and engage in this International Coach Candidate Program, and first-handedly experience the 4 components and what it is that we're so excited about. And I just want to say, before I turn it back to Dr. Ray, that April 27th, I myself we'll be there in Hong Kong. We're gonna and we'll get in touch with all of you with the location. And I also want to say thank you to our corporate team in Singapore and Hong Kong. Unbelievable, super passionate about what we do, and these people have your best interest in mind, and they want to get Asia healthy. And I just want to thank all of them for their hard work. They're going to be putting on these events. April 27th, I'll be in Hong Kong. And then also May 4th, I'll be in Singapore. And these are going to be very, very big events. So Dr. A, any closing statements?
Well, yeah, and I want to thank you all for attending today, and hopefully something in what we talked about may have piqued some interest. We are looking for amazing partners that want to change the world together. And, you know, just like when I started almost 18 years ago here, it started with one person. And now we have helped over 1 million people, way over 1 million now. And that impact starts by basically people, early innovators, people that feel and sense the power of this, how it can help my community and my country change their health. And so as Jay over, we have several of our leaders coming over, and I will be there the first week in July to do our launch into Asia. And I'm excited about meeting hopefully many of you that are on this call today, on the Zoom today. And think about this. There's only sometimes that something comes along that can truly put us in position to leave a legacy as we kind of help what's most important to us. And for our countries, for the people in our countries, specifically for our community and our families, we are very serious. We have a lot of fun doing this, but we're very serious about changing the trajectory and bringing this world together, because as we come back together, that's how humans will be the best they can be. So JC, thank you for having me. And again, on behalf of our company, as the co-founder, I will tell you that I've never been more excited to reach out from America, come across the Pacific Ocean, and launch this, what we believe is the mechanism and the mission to help us create a healthier world together. So God bless. Thank you guys for joining us, and see you soon.
This audio may have contained the personal testimonials of some Optavia coaches or clients of Optavia. The results relayed in these messages are based on the unique experiences of the participants, and we cannot guarantee like or similar outcomes. While you may be inspired by these accounts, please note that any stories of success have not been verified, and your individual path to optimal health will vary. As always, it is our recommendation that you consult with a healthcare provider before starting a weight loss program. Yours in health, the Optavia team.